Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engineers, and welcome back to what I would call probably one of the first, what I would call normal video on my channel in about a month or so. If you want to skip straight to the video, you've read the title, obviously you know what this video is about, click the time that's on the screen right now. Okay, so if you're here, then you're clearly intrigued or just curious about what I have to say before the video starts. Basically, I did a video on the cargo ships, I'm not sure how long ago, but it was a few months ago. That has since been rendered completely obsolete as all the cargo ships have been updated, and I believe 2 of them have been removed because I haven't seen them yet. But I think that had something to do with the PCU, because they were quite big ships. The ships I'm talking about are the mining hauler and the military transport. Ah yes, I can remember names. Good. They've since been removed, I'm fairly certain. Haven't seen any. They did have multiple grids, both of them. That may have been a factor in the decision to remove them, of course, but I thought they were both great ships. If I do see them, then I will retract this statement, and I'll have been proven completely wrong. I should probably have that on since I'm in space. So this video is just going to be a bit of a correction to my previous one, and I'm going to take you over the differences in the ships. If you have seen the other video, then it will probably help you a bit, as you will be familiar with the designs and that, but quite a lot's changed really, especially the interiors and the way you have to sort of attack them. Not all of them, but most of them. So if if you're interested, then watch this video. I will try and point out the differences as well as outline anything so people haven't seen the previous one. Okay, so let's get on with it. Here we have the 2 private sails. Sorry about that, my phone went off. Here we have the 2 private sails, as you can see. An immediate difference is this antenna is called detection range, which pretty much does what it says. This is just called antenna. Don't know if that's worth mentioning or not. Still both called private sails. The first thing you notice straight away is the visual enhancement that I assume Aragath has done to the, that was an autosave, pardon me, to the sails. As you can see, the rear has been redone completely. If we enter it, there's still no gravity generator. You can see the new decorative blocks. I did paste this straight from the game, so I assume these are in the vanilla one, despite them being DLC blocks, but I don't think it really makes a difference. I think most people have it. This is the whole interior space. There's no pressurization as such. It's a tiny little ship. I don't think it's really meant to be flown. I think it's more like a drone thing. Then again, I don't think anyone really has much use for this, other than maybe, you know, some sort of drone transport for some goodies. I can't quite think of anything. The front has also been redone with, you know, different types of blocks, and he's got these ground down. I assume these are window blocks, sort of just a bit of structural integrity added to the look, which is I think it's definitely an improvement, especially these rounded edges here. It does look a lot better. It's the first thing I noticed was how much better these ships looked. One important thing you need to know about these ships is they actually fly now. What I mean by that is, in the old version before the economy update, these ships were simply, they had a speed and they had a certain velocity, and that was it. They had the velocity without the dampeners on, and they just sort of go. Well, if I turn my dampeners off, they'd just be like this. So if you nudge them like that, they'd keep going that way. These new ships are actually flying, and what I mean by that is the thrusters are firing. It's constantly adjusting course. It has somewhere that it is going. So if you disrupt that course, it will try and get back on it. And they also have collision avoidance. I've seen a number of them fly through the safe zones on what they're called now, train stations, and avoid the station as they go past, despite the fact that it would do no damage, but they don't know that, obviously. when I was recording the Ion tug ship, I was rudely interrupted by a battle between two of these just outside of the safe zone. I think it was a commercial freighter that was fighting against a business shipment, if I remember correctly. And I thought that was quite cool that that takes place now. I'm not sure if that was some sort of an anomaly or if that is supposed to happen, but it did happen, so I assume it, it's meant to happen, or it can happen, which is pretty cool. Anyway, on with the business. This is not the business ship, this is the private cell. So attacking this hasn't really changed, if I'm honest, because it still has the two rear-mounted interior turrets, both port and starboard, though idle movement isn't enabled on the new ones, curiously. I have no crosshair, so it's quite hard to aim. Shit. However, these are set to 800 meters, where, if I remember correctly, these are set to 600 meters. Yes. What this basically means is it's going to be a lot harder to park your ship, say a fighter, match your velocity and park it. What you do with these is park at about 650 meters, 700 meters, and then you would simply use the Gatling guns aboard your ship to take out either one or both of the interior turrets. Come along, grind the door down, hack the control seat, and boom, it's yours. But that will be a little bit harder, as you're going to have to be over 800 meters away now to fire at the interior turrets. So if you do want to attack this thing, what's the best way to do it? Well, I think it's probably the best from the front. In fact, it's definitely the best, because what you can do is you can use these thrusters to block the interior turrets completely, as you can see. If you come from, say, about here, like that, you fly straight in, straight towards the bow thruster there. You can get in, no problem. And then the best way to actually get to the rear door, to get inside of it, can't go around the sides. You could go straight through the middle, but that would require grinding down the whole large cargo container, which requires a lot of inventory space. The best way to do it would probably be to come aboard this solar panel here, and sort of, basically, how do I put this in words? If you turn on your jetpack when you're here, and you angle yourself like this, and then you get a rifle, just pop this, you can shoot the base of the turret without it being able to shoot you, and you can take the turret out. Of course, it will be calling for backup if you have drones enabled, and it will be, sort of moving evasively, if you will, so that won't be the easiest thing in the world to do, but that is probably the best thing you can do. As for actually getting inside, it's the same door. Pop inside, grind this to below the hacked level, that will come up in that little bar, and then rebuild it, and it is yours. You will have to rebuild all the essential components if you want the ship to be yours completely, or your turrets will fire at it. But to be honest, I think your best bet is to probably try and get control of it. Obviously, you are going to lose standing with whichever faction owns it, so you've got to take that into consideration before trying to take it over. Is it worth losing all that rep? And if you do that, I would just suggest looting. As you can see, it really doesn't have a lot of stuff in it. But I'd suggest looting the cargo container and probably scrapping it. The platinum in the arm thrusters, the thrust components, is probably the best thing you can get out of these, if I'm honest. So, yeah, that's the private sale.